Hi, this is Julie Johnson again at the Allegheny County Library doing another Yoga Bite. One reason I decided to call it Yoga Bites, which I realized actually after I named it that it has different connotations, but is that sometimes we don't have time to do a whole class, or we're just in a place where it's just not feasible to stretch out your mat and to have an hour. But that's when you can just take little bites of yoga. And I believe with all my heart, and I live it, that you can do yoga anywhere. And that's why I'm standing here actually without a mat, with a table and a chair, just to show you ways that you can incorporate yoga even when you're in the kitchen. I microwave my coffee like 5 times before I drink it, and usually it's for 30 seconds. So you will often find me if you come into my kitchen, which my husband does, and he goes, "What are you doing?" And I say, "You know what I'm doing? I'm doing yoga." So I just thought I would show you some poses that you may already know, or maybe you don't, and how you can modify them without, getting on the floor or having some props. Okay? So balance is one of the first balance poses, or one of the first poses that a lot of people think of when they think about a chair or a table. And so we'll start with that. Tree pose is your classic yoga pose where you ground one leg and you send the opposite knee out to the side. You can bring it up against the calf or bring it up against the thigh. Bring your hands together if you want. You can bring the arms up. Well, I'm doing this pretty good right now. But there are days when, for whatever reason, I'm a little wobbly. And so many people come to my class and they say, "I can't do balance poses." Well, we're standing on 2 feet. That is a balance pose. But we can certainly work at improving our balance. Just about all of us need to do that. So if you're feeling a little wobbly, but yet you want to improve your balance, instead of just saying, "I can't do it," you can do it using my kitchen counter, this table, or a chair. So I'm just going to show you that really quickly. So you can ground whichever leg you want. The chair is to your left. So I'm going to ground the right leg. I'm going to turn that knee out. And this actually is a balance pose. This is called kickstand because most of your weight is on that right leg, and you can't tell me that's not a balance pose. It is. And then if it's comfortable, you can bring the foot against the inner calf or against the thigh. I'm changing hands here. You don't want to ever bring the foot against the knee, because that will kind of push it out. And then there you are. You're keeping the spine long. You're holding on just slightly. Sometimes just a touch is all you need. You can bring the other arm up if you want. Good. And then release. And take a moment, move. I always kind of like to wiggle around. Come back to mountain just for a moment to notice. And then we'll go to the other side. You can ground that left leg. And you can always stand behind the chair. I'm just not really doing that. Turn that right leg out. On this side, you may say, "Something's going on with my knee, my hip. I'm going to stay right here." Or you may move it up or bring it against the thigh. So just wherever you are this morning, you can bring one hand to your heart and then bring that arm up. And you're breathing. I always say most of us would start in tree or other balance poses. We hold our breath like the breath is going to blow us down, but we need to breathe here. And then when you're ready, release. And come back to mountain and roll the shoulders. Good. Another classic yoga pose is down dog. And really quick, without the mat, I'm just going to show you what it looks like on a mat. You come down to hands and knees. You turn the toes under, press the hips up and back. Well, it's a great pose. Stretches the whole back body. It just feels good. But some of us, we have wrist issues or knee issues. It's not going to work. So you can use a chair, or you can use a table or your kitchen counter. And I'm going to show you kind of both. A table, You start with your hands right there. Walk the feet back. You can bend the knees, send the hips back a little bit, and stay just right here. If it's comfortable, you can walk the feet back and keep the legs, the knees soft and not locked. Your hands are facing downward on the table. Think about drawing the shoulder blades down the back. There's a tendency to want to hunch the shoulders up. And then if you want, you can walk in place. Bend one knee, bring it back to center, the other. And it's just a nice stretch for the hamstrings, the whole back body. So just kind of play with it. And then when you're ready, just walk the feet forward and come back. And roll the shoulders. And of course, you can do the same thing with the chair. It's a little bit lower. Or you can use the back of the chair. You just walk those feet back. And there you go. And there's no wrong or right way to do it. You know, you just want to feel good here. You want to keep the breath flowing, especially when you're in down dog. You want to make sure that the ears and the shoulders are a nice distance apart. You're not hunching those shoulders up. And then to come back, just walk the feet and come on up. Yay. Warrior One is a pose that has just a lot of benefits, and it basically looks kind of like this. Again, not using a mat right now. You soften that front knee, bring the hands to heart, then you can bring the arms up if you want. It's a great pose. You can do it here. You can do it there on the chair. You come back kind of in your down dog a little bit, and then you lift the chest. Bring that right foot forward, and I kind of play with it. I bring my left foot back a little bit. Soften that right knee. You want a vertical shin. You do not want that knee going past the ankle. The shoulders are back, so the chest is open. You're pressing through that back heel, which may or may not come to the ground. And you're just breathing. You're breathing here. If you want, you could bring one arm up at a time. Good. And then if it's comfortable for you, and you have to decide, if you're new to yoga, some of these poses might be a little too intense. So you can always modify and bring that back foot in a little bit. If it's comfortable here, you want to keep a soft knee. You never want to lock the knee. But that hinge, the hip crease right here, you want to, if you want, just hinge forward just a little bit. You don't want to round the back or bring the shoulders toward the ears. And just soft breaths. Just make sure you're breathing. And then soften that right knee and bring that back foot forward. And just take a moment. Always come back to center. Come back to pause. Take a moment to notice how the body's feeling. Honor that, respect it, and don't push it away. If you have pain, don't try and push past it. Just modify to where you don't feel pain. Okay, then we'll do the other side. Bring that left foot forward. Again, you can come back if you want into a down dog. And then bring that left foot forward. Adjust that back foot. Soften that left knee. And think about the tailbone. Just kind of lower it down. The heart is open, so you're not all hunched. You know, we drive, we're on computers, so this is just great for opening the chest. And then take a couple of breaths here. Make sure you've got that vertical shin. Sometimes you need to scoot that foot forward. And again, if you want, one hand at a time. Or maybe you feel like it's okay to do the arms up, or this is a cactus pose. Good. And then if you want, straighten that front leg, keep that knee soft, hinge from the hip crease. Now I've got kind of a hip talking to me here, so I'm not going as far as I did on the other side. I'm honoring my body, and I'm breathing. And then release. Come back to mountain, and roll those shoulders. We're going to do one more. We're going to do triangle. Now, triangle, some of you may or may not know, you have the feet wide. In this case, the right foot's angled out, the back foot turns in, arms are extended. And then you kind of stretch with that right arm, bring that right hand down, bring that left arm up or come to the hip. This is a wonderful pose. It's actually called the happy pose, which whenever I say that, people laugh because they really don't believe me. But it's supposed to just be so beneficial. Well, it can be quite difficult, and people get really caught up with how far can I bring this hand down my leg? Because I've seen other yoga teachers, you haven't seen me much, with that hand all the way down. So people come forward and they're contorting their bodies to get the perfect pose, but they're not benefiting themselves. That is where a table or a chair comes in so handy. So that's what we're going to show you right now. Step those feet wide, round through the four corners of each foot, and tailbones going down. And then turn that right foot out 90 degrees. Back foot turns in a little bit. Then you're going to inhale those arms out. And then extend through the right arm and bring that hand down, not to your leg, but to the chair or to the back of the chair, wherever is comfortable for you. That left arm can go up, but if that shoulder is hurting you, you can bring the hand to the hip or back to the ear. I often have the fingers on the ear, and just take a couple of breaths. Feeling a nice stretch through the inner thigh. You're getting the spine nice and long. And then to come up, press through that right foot. Come up. And then bring the feet forward. Come back to center. And roll the shoulders and just take a moment. Triangle is one of those poses where after I've done it on one side and I come back to center, it's like I have two halves put together because they feel different. Then I'm going to just move this to the other side so we can do triangle on the other side. So you've got this wide stance, tailbone's going down, which means you're not lifting the tailbone or tucking it under. You just have this long spine. Turn that left foot out, 90-degree angle. Back foot turns in. And again, your back foot may not turn in. This foot does not turn in as much as the other foot. What can I say? That's the way it is. I accept it. Maybe it'll improve and be different next time, but I'm just going to wait and see. So then the arms are out shoulder height. Stretch that left arm so both sides of the waist are nice and long. And then bring that hand to the seat of the chair or to the back or to the kitchen counter. That right arm is up. You can look up toward the hand. You can look forward or down. Or you can have that hand on the hip, fingertips on the ear. And you're breathing here. And then to come up, press through that front foot. Come up. Turn the feet toward one another, toward straight. And bring the feet together. And roll the shoulders. Good. Now, after doing these poses, I invite you to sit in a chair or stretch out and take a couple of moments, a couple of minutes, a couple of breaths, just to integrate what you've done. A lot of times people are really surprised that using the chair or using props can actually really deepen these poses because you're not compromising other body parts. So have a great day, and thank you for coming to Yoga Bites.